All right, so this is number 9. Write a program that converts distances measured in kilometers to miles. 1 kilometer is approximately 0.62 miles. Page 54, chapter 2. So let's start it off. So this is going to be km to miles dot pi. So km. I don't know if this is the greatest name having these underscores. I know that for variables, it's pretty standard. But that's what we'll use. So, okay. Input. Just making sure we comment this. This program converts kilometers to miles. With the user inputting the total kilometers. All right, so let's do total km equals, this is probably going to be, well, we'll allow the user to put in a float. So this is going to be, please enter the total kilometers. And then we can put this as a comment. User enters the total kilometers. Comments are pretty subjective, but I think that for a class like this, sort of an intro to CS class, if it was going to be, Professor Zelle in his class, I would imagine they would want a good amount of comments. I think that comments are extremely helpful as well in industry. Having a lot of friends in the industry, you're spending a lot of time reading code, and not just writing it. So, you want to have people that maintain good code and ship good code and whatnot, and comments are a part of that whole dialogue. In life, it's not a monologue, it's a dialogue, right? So, programming is no exception. So I'm going to be putting a lot more comments as we go along, because I think that a lot of these instructors, professors, etc., and employers in industry are going to want clarity, which is like any communication, any venue for communication. It's all about clarity. The reader and the writer, the speaker, the listener, and the coder, and then the future coder who comes along, or the person who's reading it. So let's see. The user enters the total kilometers. So now we're going to take the km. So it's going to be 0.62. 1 kilometer is 0.62 miles. So let's do 0.62 1 kilometer. So we're going to do total km times 0.62 is going to be total miles, right? So total miles, so it's going to be, so 1 kilometer is 0.62 miles. So we're going to multiply, so for every 1 kilometer, we're going to multiply by 0.62. So if you have 10 kilometers, we're going to multiply 10 by 0.62, and that makes sense, right? So yeah, so then let's write that. So calculates, you could put program calculates and displays total miles that have been converted from kilometers from the total kilometers. Pretty clear. I think I'm going to get even clearer over time. But I'm a huge proponent of just clarity. That's such an important part of life, and definitely school and business, and just being clear. So this is pretty clear. Program calculates and displays total miles that have been converted from the total kilometers. And I don't want to write paragraphs of comments unless it's appropriate. So yeah, so then we're gonna display. So then displays. So program displays total miles converted from total kilometers. So we can just and some teachers are going to be sticklers about complete sentences, or having it if everything starts out lowercase. I don't know. I just I know that it's you want to keep that in mind in terms of actual classes. Like what is this educator's pet peeve? But for right now, I think this is decent and relatively clear. And there's some students and some people in the industry that rarely write comments, so I think that's a mistake. So yeah, so let's see. So we're gonna print the total miles converted from, this is the string data type, so convert it to a string data type. Kilometers are, and then it's just going to be total miles. We're going to put this as a string. I put the wrong parenthesis, the wrong thing. And then the period. I think that should be good. All right, so let's check this out. So we're going to open km to miles. Let's do 100. 62. That makes sense, right? So let's do it again. Open. Km to miles. One kilometer. There it is. 116. The total miles converted from 1.0 kilometers are 0.62. It's kind of clear. I normally want to say, so I would actually change to converts to, yeah, I think that's probably clearer if I was to choose. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go open. run. And let's do 100. 62. All right, so of course we're going to change this to miles. All right, let's go here. Oh, this is the wrong one. So we got to go back. Open. There it is. Then we can run that one. Okay, so negative. No, it's not going to be negative. Because it's not degrees. It's not a temperature. It's distance. Distance is always going to be greater than. It's always going to be greater than or equal to 0. So, okay, so 100.0 kilometers converts to 62.0 miles. Very clear. We also, in terms of the string, if I put like 1 kilometer, then it doesn't look weird saying 1 kilometers converts to, or no, 1 kilometers convert to. So that's why I changed this, these, because I don't know what the user is gonna put. You know, I could put, greater than or equal to 0. I mean, there's a couple things that I could put to help the user along, but for this class and this question, I think this should be sufficient. But yeah, I would try this 10 times at least, and just test different numbers, and then also use a website where you're looking up kilometers to miles, and then just see like 100. Okay, yeah, there it is, 62 miles. So we did that multiplication. We could have done 0.1371. So we can do that too if we really wanted to. Then run it again. That's what's great about putting, these figures. We could also make this a constant, right? So we can say, but I like it as it is. Since it's the only number we're using, it's like we're using like 8 of them. I think it's fine here. But yeah, I would test this like 5 or 6 or 10 times. A lot of different numbers that are greater than or equal to 0, and then see where you're at. It should be 0, which equals 0, because 0 equals 0 times anything is just going to be 0. So I would just test all those, and then yeah, that's it for number 9. Chapter 2, number 9. Write a program that converts distances measured in kilometers to miles. 1 kilometer is approximately 0.62 miles, and that's on page 54. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you very much.